Guys, I am really debating on whether or not I should go back to ANVETS and pick up that Game Boy Color. I thought about it a little bit last night when I got home, and I feel that I should have just picked it up and took a chance at this Game Boy turning on. You know, the problem with that is that if it doesn't work, you know, it's money wasted. If it does work, then it's a, you know, in my opinion, you know what I mean, you know, it's a collector's piece, you know what I mean, and it's a transparent Game Boy Color. Does come with 2 games in a case. You know, does the games make up for the Game Boy if the Game Boy doesn't work? Obviously, I could always sell the Game Boy for parts, but, you know, I'm just not known for walking in and buying stuff that's, you know, untested. And I'll be honest with you, I would never tell anyone to go and just buy games or, you know, buy, you know, consoles or buy any type of electronics that you're unable to test. You know what I mean? You know, I know that a lot of times if you go to a yard sale, you're buying stuff blind, right? You know what I mean? But at yard sales, we're talking, you know, $2, $3 items. You know, when you go to a store, you know, a $2, $3 item might cost $30, $40 at a store. So that's a big difference. You know what I mean? You know, you might take that chance, you know, at a yard sale. You know what I mean? But then again, at a yard sale, 90% of the time they're telling you that it works. They're just getting rid of it. But I've been thinking about it, and I may go back and pick up that Game Boy. You know what I mean? I'm out here right now, you know, out and about again, waiting on a gentleman to give me a call on he's got a pretty decent sized lot that he wants to get rid of. And as always, you know me, you know, I'm always out and about, you know, and willing to buy. So I'm hoping that, you know, this guy gives me a call, but if he doesn't, you know, he decides that, you know, he's going to jap on me, I think I'm going to go back to ANVETS and pick up that Game Boy. I've been thinking about that literally since last night. So as always, guys, like, share, subscribe. You know I'm out and about already for more content, and I'll see you soon.